Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel, Corrine Crafts. Thank you for joining us today. The purpose of this video is to show you how I personally make my shaker cards. I make them by making a little standalone shaker element, acetate on both sides, before I make the card. That then pops into the card and it just takes out all the hassle and all of the guesswork. So I'm going to show you how to make this, but don't forget, if you like what I've made, then please don't forget to subscribe to my channel and then you'll never miss any tutorials. And don't forget to look down the bottom, just down there at the description, and there'll be lots of links to some of the items that I use during my videos. So let's see how I made it. So shall we see how we make this card? Shaker cards are really easy to make and they're such an effective design. People love to receive them. Now your shaker element can be any size. It can be built into the card or it can be elevated above your card. Really doesn't matter. This one we're going to cut it into the card. Now I've got a die, lots of heart, and this has an outside cutting blade, so it's going to cut a shape out. So this might be something you're going to cut out to stick onto a card, but I thought this would make a really nice aperture. So I've got a piece of card I've just stamped with love in the bottom corner, and that's really going to help me to do my positioning. So I'm going to pop this here. I'm going to pop it slightly over to the left, quite deliberately. So don't be shouting at me that I'm not centered. I've gone over to the left on purpose because I'm going to do a little bit more over on this side later. Piece of tape on there. Then I'm going to bring in my plates and we're going to run that through my die cutting machine. Now I did test this one earlier and I do need all my plates. I know we always say try and use as few plates as possible, but this die needed all of them. I've tested it out. So I can peel that off here. Now you've seen me do this before. I can feel straight away there's a bit of sticky on there. So I'm just going to get my sticky stuff remover and just rub off that little bit of adhesive. Okay, so normally that would be your waste, because what you're normally trying to do is to create this die cut. So let me peel this off here. Might just give it a little tap. Yeah, I'm going to give it a little tap. That frees it up a little bit. Remember, we always peel the die cut away from the die rather than the die away from the die cut. It just stops it ripping because this is very delicate and it does come away. You just got to, if you're at all unsure, just use all of your release holes. Look, I've got another release hole down there. So that's because there was so much pressure in my machine, but it didn't cut with less plates, so I knew it needed it. So just peel that away. There we go. Now that's the die cut that you would normally get. So I thought, yep, that aperture looks a little bit strange, but what we can do is we can pop that back into there, going around those little bits, and that makes a really interesting aperture for us because it's given us the aperture, but it's also given us the heart details over the top. So that's where I thought it would go. Now, paper piecing that back in would be quite difficult. It needs to stick on something. So that's where making a shaker element comes in. Now what I've also done is one of my mats and layers is going to be this pastel pink, so I've also cut the pink one out. So we're going to use both of those. That's going to be one of my matte layers and you'll see it in a minute. So we can pop this to one side for a minute because I can't paste that back in because it's hardly anything to grip onto. So let's put that to one side and let's bring in some acetate. I hope you can see that. This is my really thick sort of construction weight acetate. This is what I love using to make shaker cards. Now you can use a much finer acetate, but I do like the strong one. As you can see, this has got, you can probably see it's a little bit cloudy, it's still got the foam on. Now this piece of card was cut to 4.5 by 5.5, so I've cut this to 4 by 5. Now when I'm making a shaker, I like to make my shaker elements completely standalone. Now some people would, and it's totally acceptable, what they'll do is they'll turn over this, oops, here, and then they would stick the acetate onto that, like that, put the foam tape down, and then stick that onto your card. I find that a little bit fiddly. So 2 pieces of acetate. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over them with my anti-static bag. Just little taps obviously that doesn't look very good because it's all cloudy. So I've just got, it's actually just a dauber, and I'm just going to wipe that the dust off, and that's now made that less static. So all we need to do, there we go. So it's just clean that up. So that's now lovely and clean, but it's not staticky, which is quite key, because if it's staticky, then everything sticks to it. So what I want to do next is bring one of these in, and I've got my shaker foam. So all you want is just some nice flexible foam tape. This is probably what, a couple of mil deep. It's about 3 mil wide, 2 mil deep, and then we just go round the edge of our element. Now I don't know how much you can actually see on here because it's on there. Have I got, let me see, I can't see a piece of card quickly. Oh, let me just do it on here. Right, you might be able to see it a little bit better if I do it that way. Look, there we go. You can hopefully see. So what I'm doing is cutting right to the edge. I can always trim it down in a minute. And now what I need to do is I need to put that one right up close and pop that along there. So the thing about shaker cards is you must make sure there are no gaps. Otherwise, depending on the size of your elements, obviously if you're putting something in like size of a penny or something like that, then they're not going to fall out, are they? But if you've got glitter or very, very fine sequins, then it's all going to fall out. So can you see on here, there are absolutely no gaps. So I just put that one up to there, press it down, and I'm right on the edge. For this, I'm right on the edge of my shaker. Now, if I'd got a circle, I might go round here in a circle design. So what I want to do then is I've got that there. I've got my second piece, and I've got to decide what to put in it. So before I go any further, I'm going to pop some elements in. I've not taken the adhesive off because, well, then you end up with a mess, don't you? So let me get these ones first. So I'm going to start with some clear ones because I do like clear, and they're going straight on here. So I'm not having to mess about putting these onto my card base because it's all sorted. I'm going to just put in a couple of dusky pink, only a few, just to break it up a bit. And then the other thing I'm going to do is put in some chunky glitter. I find it better for shakers than that really fine glitter because that just mists up your acetate. So then all I can do is peel off the back. Now, often this shaker foam backing is very easy to remove. It's not usually one that overly sticks. So we can put that on there. And then look at that, I'm not even using my pokey tool for that. Now, if you want to, you can go over it with a little bit of wet glue. But all I'm going to do then, oh, you see, it's still a little bit staticky. It captured those. But then what I've got now, oops, my shaker foam squidged. There we go. Oh, got that back. That was lucky, wasn't it? Got it back in. Got it back in. I'm pressing it down, going all the way down. Before I pick it up, I'm just giving it a really good burnish. That's putting my shaker foam on because you don't want to pick it up and all the bits fall off. So all I'm going to do now, look at that, is give that a nice shake, and you can see all the shaker elements. Now, this is why I like it, because what you've got is you've got acetate on one side, acetate on the other, and the shaker elements just flow so much better. I do like a lot of shaker elements in a shaker card. There's no point doing it if you're going to be stingy with it. Make sure you put plenty in. And that is going to go behind here with this over the top. It's looking good so far, isn't it? Now, my background. So where's my pink gone? So here's my card base. Again, it's a little piece of an A3 that was left over from another one. I'm putting that on. Took the centre out, absolutely fine. And I'm going to put this lovely heart design on. Then I thought to put that on there. And I wasn't sure. But now I'm looking at it, I actually quite like it. Decisions. No, I'm going to stick with my original thoughts. So originally I was thinking too busy through there. Too busy. I can't see the shaker elements. I'm going to stick with my original thoughts. So what I want to do is I want to put a piece of pink on that's smaller so that when it looks through, so I can still see the pattern around the outside, but when I look through, I see the pink. So I'm going to build that up. So I've got one here that I've actually put some red liner tape on. So this is just my Sticks 2 red liner tape, and I'm going to take this off just here. I just did my stamping with quick dry ink, just a regular, but it was anthracite, is it? Let me just say, no, twilight grey, just to be a little bit paler. So once I've got that, I've just like the red liner, because remember we're sticking acetate to it. It needs to be super sticky, and that is going to, oops, not at that angle, it's not. What happened there? Just dropped it. I'm going to pop that on just there. So you can see, because I cut that to 4.5 by 5.5, because I've done this 4 by 5, it hides lovely. And then I need a little bit more red liner. Now this time I'm going to go with my really skinny red liner, and I'm going to pop that across here. I'm going to put it basically wherever the foam tape is, just so that it can't be seen. And that's going to go just here, just like that. And a little bit, again, you don't have to seal it up because we've already sealed in the shakers. This is just to stick on. So we can do that and that, and then I can take that off there. Again, I'm using red liner. Your tacky glue would stick to acetate to paper, but I just think red liner is just that little bit stronger for sticking anything to acetate. So we can do that. There we go. And that's going to stick. I'm going to pop that one onto here, do it this way round. I'm just going to pop that over there. There we are. So that's what we've created. Now I've not stuck that down yet purposely. So what I want to do is I'm going to get this one. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to get a dotty tape pen, if I can find a dotty one. I've got every one but a dotty one. Dotty tape pen, it's on my desk. And I'm just going to go all over with a dotty tape pen, just to add all the adhesive that I need to add. Making sure I've not missed any bits. Oops, don't want to do that. There we go. And then I can lift that up. And that can then pop into there. And you'll see in a minute why I've not stuck these bits down on purpose. There we go, pop that down there. And then what I will do is I will lift these up, and this one, and this one. And then I'll get my really fine nozzled glue bottle, and I will just stick those down. Always easier to do it after, because if those stick down, because they're sort of flexible in the wrong place, you'll not get your die cut back in. And I've got another one just there that needs a little bit of adhesive. It needs the smallest bit. There we go. That's, oh, that one. There we go. That's looking lovely. Now, the thing I thought I might do, because that's quite, I thought I might pop the pink on as a drop shadow. So let's have a look. Let's come back in with my cardstock. Let's, oops, caught that. So this is just a really nice pale pink linen card, which I just hunted through my stash till I found some pale pink linen. Oh, but it was a really good match for my background paper. There we go. Right, so tint that over. And then I'm going to just do a little bit of a drop shadow off down to the left. Now where that's caught, where I ripped that, actually I think I will cut that off. Let's get a little pair of fine scissors and cut that off. There we go. And then just drop shadow that off to the left. There we go. There we are. Just sort of looks more like your scribble heart now. Then I thought, okay, let's use some baker's twine. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a little bit of red liner. I can, where do I want my red? I want it around here. So I'm going to put my red liner just there. I'll use a bit more in a minute. And take the back off, and then we'll just whip round some some baker's twine nice and quickly. Just all about, I don't, you know me, I always think I'm going to start with a really nice, you see We've got quite a nice, clean, simple card there, but I just needed to add a bit more, just a little bit more. Okay, so let me see where I'm going. I wanted this sort of around there. So 1, 2, I think 3 is enough. Put that on there and give that a little clip. And then if you need to, what you can always do is, if you're a bit concerned about it unravelling, get another piece of red liner, and all you need to do is lay that over the top, and that's not moving anywhere. Now, obviously, when that goes into my card, it's going to rock. So actually, I've got this big roll from Sticks 2. So I'm actually going to put this onto my card base. I think it's only a 2mm foam tape, but you know what? It's going to stop that bulging, because it's going to sort of raise it, isn't it? You just have to think about that. If you're doing tape and stuff on the back of string, always have to think about how you're going to adhere it to your card. Well, that was a good guess, wasn't it? And this is going on, so this is where we're at so far. This is going onto my card base, so let's stick this on. So this is the piece where we cut the drop shadow one out of. So it just means I can get all of the bits I needed out of one sheet of A4 without any problems. Come on, why is my glue not coming out? There we go. Remember, this is just a matte layer. I've got my card the right way up. Yeah, 10-fold as always. There we go. Put a bit. Then we can come on with our pattern paper. This was just from, what's it from? It's from Summer Breeze paper pad. Summer Breeze. Which I think it's quite old. Not that I've had it that long, but yes, I've had it not too long, but I just thought, oh, it worked. It was really nice heart theme. I know this is my stamping pressure tool, but works really well. Spreading the glue in your mats and layers. There we go. Okay, so this can now sit onto there. What have I got here? There we are. So this is going on like that. And I do think that definitely looks better for not seeing the pattern paper through the aperture. Not that you can see much of the pattern paper. It's only an inch, half an inch, quarter of an inch instead of my normal 1/8 of an inch. But it's just enough to give it a bit of a lift. If you wanted to, if you find it easier, just a run of wet glue. You see, I'm not even taking the backing off there. That is just literally to anchor it down. That's all that's doing. And that's going on there. There we go. That's going on there. So I've got a couple of things. Not quite decided yet where we're going with this. So out of the backing paper, I cut myself a heart, used my crocodile to put that through. Now that looks lovely. But what I've also done is I used this flower once before, but it looks a bit like tied string, doesn't it? Actually, I was going to put that like that. And then, so it looked like I'd tied some, you know, done a string bow. That looks a bit busy, but I might just put one behind. So if I find, there it is, 3D glue. And what I might actually also do is move that crossover to behind here. So I can put that like that. Slide where they cross over to here. There we go. We can then put this on here, and then a little bit more glue. It's going to hold the string, so you can see it splits in the 3 ways, and then we can put the heart. So I was looking and I thought, maybe a little bit missing at the top, isn't there? So all I thought I would do is, you know me, a couple of gems. I've got some in the prettiest pink that I thought matched really well. Now the other thing you could do is, I've seen it where you've embossed this cardstock just to give it a little bit of detail if you wanted to. You could have also put your sentiment up at the top. I chose to put mine down at the bottom. I do like sentiments near the bottom they just, for me, it just works so well. I wish I could stick at clean and simple, but I can't. I always have to add a little bit more. But I think that'll do. That is heart. But what the main reason for doing this was to show you how I make my apertures, my shakers rather, as a standalone element that then can go in. So this is another one I've made that can go in another card, and it just makes making your shakers so much easier. Okay, thanks for watching. I hope you like it. I've got lots more videos if you want to go and pop and look at one of my other videos. So yeah, please go and have a look, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. So thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy making your shaker cards.